My name's Dan McLoughlin, I'm Field CTO at OneSpan, and we're a global security digital agreements company. Security is vitally important in digital agreements. We're seeing more and more contracts happening between both consumers and corporations where they're working with each other. So it's really important that there is an identity piece there to check that the two individuals who are contracting are who they should be to prevent potential fraud. And that is important on both sides of the experience, so that not only you as a consumer, but also the company that you're contracting with are able to identify themselves to each other, so that you don't fall foul of potential frauds. And it's also important in the world of digital agreements that security is wrapping everything that's being done from a customer experience perspective. And that's because security is often used as a blunt tool and wrapped around things, but actually it can enhance the user experience if it's done correctly. It's always difficult to keep up with regulations all around the world. You know, we see regulations changing and different regulations in different areas. So it is difficult to do that, but you have to partner with solid partners who are aware of the different regulations around the world and are able to provide solutions that can work with that. And you've got to think about, again, user experience is very important in all digital agreements. That's the whole point of doing these things digitally. You know, otherwise we'd still be using paper because it provides a service that's available. But we want to be able to transact more quickly. We want to be able to do it in a secure way, and digital provides that opportunity. So it's really important that if it's allowed and we have the right environment, so you have eIDAS in Europe, you have different regulations in different parts of the world, that the solutions are compliant to these regulations, and that the end consumers can and the users of the services are able to use that in a relatively straightforward way. Moving forwards in digital agreements, we're seeing more and more hybrid models approaching, so going from that purely just online signing a transaction into an actual agreement between two individuals, maybe virtually present with each other. And moving forwards, you might see that even move further on into things like the metaverse moving forwards, where you'd be creating agreements between two avatars effectively, standing in for actual individuals. And that's again where the security piece becomes more and more important. If you have avatars communicating, how do you know what's behind that avatar? I mean, it's difficult enough on a telephone call, face to face. If you don't know the individual, there's nothing to tell you that they are who they say they are. I mean, you've got a badge on, I've got a badge on today. It says my name on it, but so it's only verified by the people downstairs, so it's from an email. So how do we go that little step further and make sure, you know, I'm doing a transaction here and signing a contract? So that's really important. So we've got to make sure that that's bound into the whole digital agreement piece right now and moving forwards even more so, because it's going to become more and more common to do these things, and it's going to be done in ways, as I say, in hybrid styles and moving into things like metaverse. Also, you've got to look at the agreements and what do you do with them after you've signed an agreement? How is that stored? What can you do with that? And is that stored in a way that it cannot be changed, it cannot be tampered with, and it can be recovered and checked over and over again. So that's another area that we're seeing big strides being taken using like blockchain style technology to create immutability of the agreements.